no one knows what things are. The Prada coat is $8,000. This Terry Mugler is $14,000. Lamb on the inside. Lamb on the inside. Cashmere on the outside. And for
that is a stunning garment.
Yeah, for the wealthy, opulence is a secret. So you don't even see the lamb.
Yeah.
You see the cashmere. And so Terry gave this to me 3 years ago.
You wear it well, why don't you swivel a little?
Prada last year named me one of their fashion icons. And this was a gift from Prada Paris. And the idea was this whole thing of military. And so the camouflage. This is gabardine, which doesn't really exist anymore in terms of mainstream society. And the thing is now sleeves are worn long. For years sleeves were always worn like this. So in Chicago people say, why do you wear your sleeves so long? Well, they're not fashion forward. They have no idea. So it's like you go through these criticisms constantly with people who are not abreast of actually where the international trends
So this is
are.
this is a Prada piece.
This is Prada. But you wouldn't know it because Prada would never have this in Chicago because Chicago is very conservative.
Yeah.
So
Midwest. It's still in the Midwest.
right. So, you know, I'll give you an idea, like, this is one of my latest purchases, and I got this in Milano. This is Armani, this is Armani Europe. So every businessman in the States wears Armani or Hugo Boss. But the difference is you know, you've seen guys, they wear the block shoulder Armani thing, they're supposed to look, you know, like they're.
It feels very light.
Oh yeah, well see the thing is, the European Armani has no shoulders. And the jackets are short. Americans won't wear their jackets like this. But this is contemporary
Yeah,
Armani.
they seem to like that kind of long leg look.
Yeah,
So-
that's the contemporary. This is the contemporary Armani, which is nothing like what you'll find in Armani on Chicago Avenue, you know, next to the Hyatt.
You wear those well.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is the stuff that this is what I take Common and Kanye them through. It's like, I want them to have the refinement of what my experience has been because they have the platform for the public. And so you can influence without even people knowing you influence because I've got that whole body, and then Larry is my translator, so I can take these young men and show them what Duke was able to show Billy Eckstein and what Duke was able to show Dizzy. That's my job now with this young generation. And also to know who are the designers that are making the real statements. This is Elo Kenzo, who's very popular. But again, if you go to Macy's and see Kenzo, it's going to be these little straight American suits. You won't see this Edwardian 17th century now brought back in 2011. This jacket is 2011. But this, so you got no place to do this in Chicago. They don't know whether it's white, black,
Take
or
it off.
whatever.
Let's get the inside again.
Oh, it's extraordinary. Pure silk. Extraordinary.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's about $3,000.
So is that a suit? You have slides.
This is just a jacket.
Oh,
The Armani's a suit. There's a young
okay. Wear that to the
designer
Academy
out-
Awards.
There's a young designer who is. I have two favorite young designers right now that I deal with, and that's Philippe Dubuc from Montreal. His whole thing is reversed patterns of perception. Reverse patterns of perception is how he designs.
I like that.
Reverse patterns.
Oh, yeah.
so he took the jacket inside out. And so
You
he's,
can't afford to gain a pound, can you?
huh?
You can't afford to gain a pound, can you?
I haven't since I was 18.
Oh, yeah, good for you.
Yeah, but I work out.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, you can
So
see.
is that reversible or is that the way?
No, it's this is the concept.
Okay.
I mean,
Let's see the inside, because
The inside is the way that a traditional jacket would be made,
exactly.
but the way the buttons are cut, the
Right.
buttons are cut, and then the tag for the inside is actually the outside.
Right.
But the whole point is, the reason I love fashion is not because of what it costs, is that here's an area unlike jazz, because you look at jazz and you think of Winton, there is no innovation. Whereas with fashion, when you look at Philippe Dubuc or this other young guy that's doing Lanvin now named Christian Van Hess from Belgium, they are like what Bird and the fashion designers still have the freedom.
What can you say about their inspiration?
Their inspiration is really architecture, design, color, form, but in adornment. The thinner that the materials are, the more expensive. This is called paper cotton,
Right.
and it's paper thin. This is $10,000. And this is my other favorite designer right now. His name is Christian Van Hess. And he's from Brussels. But he's now the head designer for Lanvin. And so this was the jacket that, what's the new James Bond guy's name? You know what I'm talking about. But the new James Bond, in his premiere, he was wearing Christian Van Hess because how it cuts here in the shoulder and how it gives this look. And he was action and all that, and that's what this stuff is made for. This is a cocktail
They're
jacket.
saying the next one might be Idris Elba.
Oh, okay.
But we shall see.
That would be great.
I think so. That's my vote.
But the whole point is that the idea now of what used to be like wealthy fashion is about being active. See, they're lawyers.
Now turn around for a minute, because I'm just looking at the way this fits you, and this is, I mean, we were talking about the whole buttocks thing,
Right.
If you will, but in European fashion, I mean, that's like a part of it, whereas with I guess with the traditional British cut, it was always covered up.
Inhibited.
Yeah. Oh, inhibited.
Right. But it's Miles who came up with this. This is Miles Davis' jacket circa 1959. Remember, Miles had the one button, short suits, and everybody couldn't figure it out. He was the only guy with it. Miles Davis is who came up with this. This is Miles Davis before rock Miles Davis.
Okay.
When he had the Coltrane, Cannonball Alley,
Right.
and they had on the regular suits,
Right.
and he wanted to be different, he came up with these ideas of these little, because he was short. By wearing the shortest suits, it made him look tall.
Okay.
But this is Miles, even
Before he
though,
went kind of psychedelic.
right, before psychedelic, he had these little tight suits, and he was boxing. So he had the tight body, and he had them little bitty suits with the cigarette.
Yeah.
This was that look. Now this is hip European.
So that was part of the cool phase.
That was the cool phase. He came up with some interesting concepts for the people that made clothes for him.
I didn't know that.
And then the other thing, I'll show you an example of how it all returns. The other part of fashion is knowing the history. From Romantic to Edwardian to Roaring Twenties, which was called the Jazz Age, Art Deco.
Edwardian, I think, was like turning the century.
Okay. Edwardian was turn of the century.
Yeah.
So I have a store in Montreal that only sells clothes from 18th and 19th century. This jacket is like from 1873.
That's kind of the Beau Brummel kind of vibe.
Right. This is a 200-year-old jacket.
It looks good.
Right. And so one would think, but
Looks
this
very
is
good.
this is when you realize that it's not today's fashion.
Instead of that basketball thing you were talking about, you should have a fashion thing, because you could strut in that. That looks, I mean, it just fits you very well.
Yeah.
And it's a nice, nice design.
Mhm.
We have to talk about that more.
Mm-hmm. But you know, this has been my interest, understanding
Let's
the
see
form.
the inside of that.
Oh, just
Okay.
an old jacket.
Okay. Just an old
But the thing is, you know, this is like buying a painting.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It's like
Tell
my
me
kids.
how it's like buying a painting.
My kid, because this jacket is worth at least $15,000 to $20,000.
Oh.
It's 200 years
In
old.
that regard.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my kids, in terms of my will, and this is money.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't, you know, it's like art. It doesn't depreciate. It appreciates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about quality fashion. That's why this whole resale thing is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll give you an example.
So you can shop for fashion the way other people shop for art.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And then the leading community now is the Asian community, because they've taken couture and they put it with kabuki.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Tell me how that translates.
What, you know, like if you have a kimono
Mm-hmm.
and Nehru and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
so they take the cut that's based in the European couture,
Mm-hmm.
but they put the signatures of Japanese culture
Okay.
in it.
Right.
And so now they're leading
Mm-hmm.
with the future look. They have the future look.
Yeah.
This is
That's
couture,
nice. Yeah.
but this is the future,
Mm-hmm.
which is an Eastern influence.
Mm-hmm.
And so this designer is called Seven,
Mm-hmm.
because seven's the number of magic. So he's taking
Oh,
it.
7.
Seven.
Oh.
He's called
I
Seven.
think I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, seven is big now.
Mm-hmm.
He's just called Seven. And so, you know, if you're a fashion
7
aficionado,
works.
fashion
Not 6, but
aficionado,
7.
and here's an example of a true individual fashion artist. This is Roberto Cavalli. And he's doing one-of-a-kind hand-painted jackets.
Mm. That's nice.
Yeah, Cavalli.
All of these are nice. Very nice.
Yeah, but this is like a one, you know, each one, there were only 100 of these jackets done. Each were painted differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Roberto Cavalli.
Mm-hmm. So is he Italian?
He's Italian.
Mm-hmm.
He's Italian. But his work is.
So that's really wearable art.
Yeah, no, it's tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so my thing is, we should have been training some of our kids over the last 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
With all our creativity,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the one, Earl Pickens, is a former student of mine that's working for, he's at John Charles Constable Jock House.
Mm-hmm.
And I took him to Europe. He's
Where's
been in
that?
Europe now. This is Versace.
Mm-hmm.
And Versace's not as popular as it used to be, but they are still the more experimental, the more extreme with colors,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Versace's probably the most popular with the gay community
Mm-hmm.
because of the vibrancy of
And because of Versace.
yeah. But you know, the zippers here, detail,
Mm-hmm.
only Versace does stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that's, you follow what I'm saying? That's,
Oh, yeah.
and that's what, you know, what, from Duke to Miles to
Mhm.
Sly,
Mhm.
and that's what's missing today.
Mhm.
You don't have it in D'Angelo, you don't have it, you know, Kanye is trying. And so we're working with him to give him the information so we can take this to the next level.
Mhm.
But what is going to be this future of Dorman? It can't just be t-shirts and baseball caps.
Well, certainly after this display, certainly after this display,
Yeah.
I am convinced. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're, you know, I mean, they're folks much wealthier than me, but there are few that can compete with me in terms of really knowing this, understanding it. Like I have one jacket, I'll show you that one jacket.
Okay.
This
You can pause it.
is very